talking English. 10 minutes every day. When you need a friend, here's what to say. Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. When you need a friend, here's what to say. Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Did you always want to be a reporter, James?
I did. When I was little, I liked to watch reporters on TV. How about you?
When I was a child, I wanted to be a history professor. I wanted to teach in a college.
So, why aren't you a professor?
Working in a TV station sounded more exciting. And it is.
I thought about being a businessman at one time.
That's a good job. Businessmen can make a lot of money.
They can also lose a lot of money.
True. At one time, I wanted to be a nurse.
That's a good job. What does your husband do?
He's a lawyer.
That's a good job too, but not for me.
When you meet someone for the first time, you often ask about their job. You ask, "What do you do?" Then the person tells you about his or her job. He or she might be a teacher or professor at a school or college. Or they might be a businessman or woman. They buy or sell things. Some people are doctors or nurses. They take care of sick people. Others are lawyers or reporters. There are so many different kinds of jobs. Hey friends, welcome to another great day here at Let's Talk in English. My name's Pauline.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrea, and the topic of our lesson today is small talk.
That's right, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of jobs. Andrea, thanks so much for being a guest teacher with us again this month.
I am so happy to be here. I love Let's Talk in English. And Pauline, you're so easy to talk to.
Oh, well, thanks. I do love talking to people and meeting new people.
Yes, you are always so welcoming to new people. I appreciate that about you. Not everyone feels comfortable talking to new people.
I guess that's true, but the good news is it's a skill people can practice and get better at.
Well, that's true. So if someone wants to get better at meeting new people, what can they do?
Well, just start simple. When you meet someone, first ask them their name.
Of course. People like it when you remember their name as well.
Yes, they do. Then ask them some questions. Really, getting to know someone is just about asking good questions and then giving some good answers yourself too.
Well, that is true. But you also need to talk about yourself, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You also need to tell people about who you are. Maybe talk about your job.
Then you can ask them about those things too.
Yes, and we'll learn about talking about jobs in our lesson today. And to get started, we'll go over to Sonia for our keywords.
Hello, Megan 小时候想当历史教授。When I was a child, I wanted to be a history professor. 名词 professor 就是教授。他想在大学教书。I wanted to teach in college. 名词 college 就是大学。James 曾想要当商人。 I thought about being a businessman at one time. 名词 businessman 就是商人。Megan 一度想要当护士。At one time, I wanted to be a nurse. 名词 nurse 就是指医院的护士或是护理人员。他的先生是律师。He's a lawyer. 名词 lawyer 就是律师。好奇 James 是否本来就想当记者 ，Megan 问他 ，Did you always want to be a reporter, James？ 名词 reporter 就是记者。
Did you always want to be a reporter, James?
I did. When I was little, I liked to watch reporters on TV. How about you?
When I was a child, I wanted to be a history professor. I wanted to teach in a college.
So, why aren't you a professor?
Working in a TV station sounded more exciting. And it is.
Well, speaking of small talk, Megan and James are having a good conversation in the Jungle Cafe right now.
That's true. They are talking about an interesting topic. Jobs.
That's right. Often one of the first questions that people ask you when they meet you is, what do you do? This just means, what is your job?
And it's interesting because there are just so many different jobs out there. When you meet someone new, you might learn about a whole new job that you've never heard of before.
Our coworker James is a reporter. That's his job. Andrea, can you explain what a reporter is?
Sure. A reporter is someone who writes or talks about the news. Some reporters are on TV. Some write for the newspaper, and others do all of their work on the internet.
Right. James is our sports reporter, so he talks about sports news on TV. But is that always the job that he wanted to do?
Well, that's what Megan asks him. And it is the job he always wanted to do. He loved watching reporters on TV when he was little.
Megan is a reporter too. James wants to know if she also always wanted to be a reporter. He asks, what about you?
Now, this is a great question to use when you're getting to know someone. Sonia, can you tell us more about it?
James 小时候就喜欢看电视上的记者，他想知道 Megan 的情况。他说 How about you? 我们来看这个句子 How about you? 意思是那你呢？用来询问对方，或是用来关心或了解对方的情况与感受。像是 I feel a bit hot. How about you? 我觉得有点热，你呢？或是 I'll have a chicken sandwich for lunch. How about you? 我午餐想吃鸡肉三明治，你呢？ I'll have a club sandwich. 我要总会三明治。
Thank you, Sonia. Now let's look at Megan's answer. It's different from James's answer. She did not always want to be a reporter.
No, she says she wanted to be a history professor.
A history professor. Now that is cool.
Right? Why do you think that though, Andrea?
Well, I always thought about being a teacher.
Oh, really? Well, a professor is a teacher, although they teach in a college, and you teach here on Let's Talk in English with us. That's cool too.
Well, it is. And I do love teaching. I love to share the things that I'm learning with other people.
Well, I'm so glad you get to do those things with us on the show this month. Megan did want to be a professor before, but later she thought that it sounded even more exciting to work in a TV station.
What a fun conversation. We'll continue it in a minute. But first, it's time to take a short break, and we'll be right back after this.
Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Welcome back, friends. What did you want to be when you were a kid? What did you dream about doing?
Did you dream about driving around town in a police car?
Or maybe about sitting at the front of a plane and flying across the world?
Kids often dream about the kinds of jobs they might have in the future. James and Megan did that too. So let's go back to our conversation right now.
I thought about being a businessman at one time.
That's a good job. Businessmen can make a lot of money.
They can also lose a lot of money.
True. At one time, I wanted to be a nurse.
That's a good job. What does your husband do?
He's a lawyer.
That's a good job too, but not for me.
Okay, so James always wanted to be a reporter, but it wasn't the only job he's ever wanted.
Yeah. Well, most people don't think about one job when they're 5 years old and never change their mind. There are just too many interesting jobs out there.
True. And there are many different reasons to do a job. Andrea, before the break, you talked about why you wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah, I love to learn things and share what I know.
But some people have other reasons. For example, James thought about being a businessman.
Oh, really? A businessman? Boy, there are so many different kinds of businessmen.
That's true. But most of them work in big offices.
Yes, they try to buy and sell things. It's interesting.
Yeah, but that's not why James thought about being a businessman. But before we talk about why, let's go over to Manya so we can practice using a sentence with her.
Hi everyone! It's time to learn a new use it. When you were growing up, what did you want to be? Maybe you wanted to be a teacher or a police officer. To give your answer, you can say, I thought about being a doctor, or I thought about being a farmer. That's it for today's Use It. Remember, to practice your English, you have to use it.
Thank you, Manya. So one reason to do a job is to make money.
True, everyone does need to make money.
That's true. Now we all need money. You need money to pay for your bills and for food, and those are important things.
That's true. Although I'm guessing James wanted to be a businessman for more than just money to pay for bills and food.
So he wanted to make a lot of money.
I think so. It would be fun to have lots of money, but is it worth it?
Well, it is cool to have money to buy cool things.
Yeah, that's true, but many businessmen are always working and they don't have lots of time to spend with their families.
Oh, that's true. And that would be hard. Plus, James says that you don't just make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money too.
Ooh, that's true. Well, one other reason that people do a job is they want to make a difference. They want to help people.
Oh yeah, those jobs are great, like people who help the poor.
Yeah, or like that job Megan wanted at one time. Hey, by the way, Sonia, could you tell us more about that phrase, at one time? When exactly is that?
James 曾经想过要当商人。I thought about being a businessman at one time. 我们来看 at one time 这个说法，意思是从前、一度或是曾经，用来描述过去的时间。 比如说 ，At one time he was homeless. 他曾经有一度无家可归。或是 He was a great player at one time, but not anymore. 他曾是很棒的球员，但现在已经不是了。我们再举一个例子。Don thought about moving to Mexico at one time. Don 一度想要搬去墨西哥。
Thanks, Sonia. So at one time, Megan wanted to be a nurse.
And nurses help people. They help people stay healthy and they help people get better.
That's right. And Megan's husband is a lawyer.
Now that's a great job.
But not for me. That's a hard job.
Well, that's true, but not for me is a good calendar phrase.
But not for me.
But not for me. 可是并不适合我。
A reporter is a good job.
It is, but not for me.
A businessman is a good job.
It is, but not for me.
A lawyer is a good job.
It is, but not for me.
Why aren't those jobs good for you?
I'm just a kid.
But not for me.
But not for me. 可是并不适合我。
All right, friends. Well, reviewing our keywords is good for all of us, so let's do that together now.
Here are today's key words. Professor. Professor. What does that professor teach?
College. College. Kathy went to college for 4 years.
Businessman. Businessman. My dad is meeting with some businessmen.
Nurse. Nurse. The nurse helped the doctor.
Lawyer. Lawyer. Mr. Jensen is a very good lawyer.
Reporter. Reporter. The reporter asked many questions. All right, friends, those are your key words for today. You're doing great. Just keep on practicing them, okay? Now let's watch our conversation one more time together.
Did you always want to be a reporter, James?
I did. When I was little, I liked to watch reporters on TV. How about you?
When I was a child, I wanted to be a history professor. I wanted to teach in a college.
So, why aren't you a professor?
Working in a TV station sounded more exciting. And it is.
I thought about being a businessman at one time.
That's a good job. Businessmen can make a lot of money.
They can also lose a lot of money.
True. At one time, I wanted to be a nurse.
That's a good job. What does your husband do?
He's a lawyer.
That's a good job too, but not for me.
Maybe it's time for me to get a job.
Really? You? What kind of job?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll be a reporter.
Good idea. You could write stories.
No, that's too hard. Maybe I'll be a professor.
You have to go to college to be a professor.
Oh, well, that's hard too. maybe I'll be a businessman. I can make a lot of money.
Or maybe you'll lose a lot of money.
Oh, no. Oh, maybe I'll be a nurse. Oh, or a lawyer.
You know, those jobs are not easy.
But I want an easy job.
Well, an easy job is hard to find.
Oh.
Hi everyone, welcome to Jack's File. I'm Jack. When I meet someone new, they often ask me, "What do you do?" Then I tell them about my job. I'm an actor, a teacher, and a musician. I really enjoy all my jobs. What do you do? When you meet someone for the first time, you often ask about their job. You ask, "What do you do?" Then the person tells you about his or her job. He or she might be a teacher or professor and teach at a school or college. Or they might be a business person and buy or sell things. Some people are also doctors or nurses. They take care of sick people. Others are lawyers or reporters. There are so many different kinds of jobs. Some people have unusual jobs. They might be fishermen and spend weeks or months at sea. Some people are personal shoppers. People often hire them to shop for clothes and shoes for them. An ice cream taster creates new flavors and tries them. He or she considers the smell and the texture of ice cream as well. Another unusual job is a body part model. One part of their body is great looking, so they appear in ads. Hand, foot, or leg models are the most common. Sometimes I think about other jobs. It might be exciting to be a pilot or a race car driver. There are so many interesting jobs, and you don't have to do the same job for your whole life. You can try different things. But it's great when you really enjoy your job. So find something you love to do. I'll see you next time on Jack's File. Bye!
Friends, thanks so much for joining us for today's lesson. It's so useful to know words about jobs in English. It will help you when you want to talk to new people and learn about their jobs. We're also going to talk about this tomorrow, so we hope you'll join us then too, right here on Let's Talk in English. Goodbye.